You're watching Reality Check, This Week in Rewind. Welcome to Reality Check, This Week in Rewind. I'm your host, Quinniee B, and here we are, back to talk about more reality TV. I already know what you thought. You thought I abandoned the channel. You thought I forgot about you. And I did not, okay? The saying is that it takes 21 days to form a habit, and I am here to tell you it only takes 2 days off your schedule to break all of the habits that you have formed. While I was away, I took some time to reevaluate the channel and think about things that I should add, take away. What could I do differently? How could I improve things for you? So a new segment that I'm introducing is the drink of the episode. The drink of the episode is going to describe how I feel about the shows. If they were a little sweet, spicy, uneventful, things like that. The drink is going to echo my description of the shows. So the drink for today's episode is a blueberry lavender infused and mint spritzer. Keep in mind, I'm doing a dry month for the month of October, so that means no alcohol, kind of like a detox. The drink recipes that I'm going to give you are not going to have any alcohol in them, but I will tell you the alcohol that I think would pair very nicely with it if you decided that you wanted to spice things up. And for this drink in particular, if you wanted to spice this up, I would actually recommend adding blueberry vodka. Now, the reason why I chose this drink in particular is because honestly, the shows that we're going to cover, I feel like they were hyped up. They were a little uneventful and kind of left us wanting more. When the shows went off, I just kind of found myself sitting there and going, well, that's kind of a waste of my time. This episode will be covering shows that have pretty much already come to an end. So I did want to start with Growing Up Hip Hop Atlanta because we were almost at the end of that the last time that we met. Growing Up Hip Hop Atlanta, I will say, once they exposed Brandon, he just completely disappeared from the show. And I don't think that viewers really got the explanation or the answers that we deserved. I mean, let's be honest. They hyped this up, this firefighter school thing. They hyped this up all season to just have him promptly exit left from the show. I absolutely was not satisfied. They've also shown Bow Wow basically trying to defend himself because of these allegations between he and Kiyomi. But yet again, he goes and hops into yet another quote unquote crazy relationship. Now, I've read that people feel like that was staged. I don't know if I believe that it was staged, but my question is how could she be so in love when they've been dating maybe 2 weeks from what we can tell on camera? But I am going to say he probably shouldn't play with people like that because she was very clear about once we have sex, we go together. So he should reconsider that for the future. I did not like the way they just kind of left us hanging because what they did was show her busting out his car windows and pulling off. I do recall in the past, Growing Up Hip Hop or one of the smaller shows used to do a reunion, and I actually would have loved to have seen a reunion for Growing Up Hip Hop Atlanta. What did you guys think about Andrea Kelly's daughter, Buku, her performance? I mean, now we know her choice in wigs is terrible. She could use a stylist, but what did you actually think about it? The show also shows that Deb and Brat's showcase was mildly a success, but the wrap up for the show or the showcase that they did was the beginning stages for this thing that they held auditions for. I'm actually a little perplexed on that, but we saw some good, we saw some bad, we saw some ugly. So did Remarkable make the right decision in deciding not to audition and ultimately forfeit her position in the artist boot camp? And that actually pretty much covers Growing Up Hip Hop Atlanta. I did have a question because I actually forgot about, I think her name is Brianna, who was on Growing Up Hip Hop LA. I actually cannot remember the franchise, but remember, she is, I believe, Mary J. Blige's ex-husband's daughter. So Mary J. Blige's former stepdaughter. She left the show in a hurry this past season. So she's shown up on my Instagram showing that she does like nail art. She's no longer an artist. I think she's listed as an entrepreneur now. So I definitely think you should go and check out her page and see her updates. Girlie's looking great. So maybe leaving the show was best for her mental stability. Now let's talk The Real Black China. This docuseries is very intriguing to me. I do understand that China wanted to do this docuseries to show her as a person, to humanize her to combat the things that you've seen on TMZ and other tabloids and things like that. But I haven't quite determined whether or not this is doing more harm than good. There's a scene where she's going to the roller rink to support her friend, where she's in the car and she's clearly like high out of her mind, right? Barely able to speak. I also wanted to know how much longer were they going to exploit this China and Tokyo drama. Thankfully that's over, but we're now seeing them in counseling. And I've said it before, I will say it again. I do not believe that your counseling sessions should be televised, recorded, or any of that, because there's no way that you're truly going to be able to be your true self and let down your armor. Because there's no way that you're actually going to be able to let down your armor and be yourself so that you can actually receive the help that you need. I really don't care if you call yourself living in front of the camera. I don't care if you've done it for 15 to 20 years. Everyone has their secrets. Everyone has certain things that they don't want people to know about them. And so the therapy is kind of going to be null and void. What I did find interesting is when Treasure and Black China got into it and she was talking about you needed me to fill out a W-9 so that you could embezzle money and all that kind of stuff. I saw how that kind of blew up on social media and how everybody took it and ran with it. I've watched Treasure's IG stories. I've listened to all of these interviews with all of her former team, and everybody's pretty much saying the same thing, which is that the show is exploiting China and kind of pushing away those that truly care about her in an effort to get subscribers. Because it's an online channel or a subscription service, it doesn't really matter the number of views they have. What's important are the number of subscribers. I just want to wish China the best of luck. What I would say is that because of the things that people are saying about her as a result of being on the show and their friendship being terminated, I wonder how that's going to impact like her custody battles and child support and other lawsuits that she has pending, because the show doesn't necessarily paint her in the best light. Sometimes she looks a little unstable. Like I said, it's a couple of scenes where she's clearly high, just completely out of her mind. And I really just want to know, when is this going to end? I want to say we're about 10 to 12 episodes in, and I didn't know docuseries were actually this long. I really only expected this to maybe be 8 episodes max. And so when is it over, girl? And now let's talk Real Housewives of Potomac. I have thoroughly enjoyed this season. However, can we talk about how repetitive this has been? This entire season has been revolving around Candace, Monique, Ashley, and maybe even a little bit of Katie. People keep saying that Monique is fake. I don't necessarily know if she's fake or if she's kind of just trying to be more adaptable to ensure that she has friends on the show or people to film with. I'm not sure. And I say that because we know that Giselle and Robin are not going to film with her. I do think that Monique and Karen's relationship is genuine, and I did enjoy seeing that this season. Candace just really seemed to have it out for Ashley this season. This whole focus on how Ashley needed to proceed getting pregnant, even after Karen and everyone else discussed people get pregnant with one night stands, after drunken nights, all the time. So Ashley doesn't necessarily have to stop drinking. The fact that Candace could not let that go, how things escalated about Candace living in her mother's home, which we saw at the close of the season. She and Chris are now paying the full mortgage. It's just crazy to me. We just really circled around a lot of things that really should have been squashed early in the season. What did you think about this reunion? Did it really need to be 3 parts long? Like, I really felt like they could have cut out a lot of the scenes. And usually Andy does a much better job with facilitating or controlling the conversation. This season, he kind of just let everybody talk all over themselves and kind of about whatever they wanted. So I feel like that's why the taping ran a little bit long, because he just could not gain control of the ladies. Of course, they saved the best part for last with Michael and the alleged assault. Did we really even come to a resolve? All we saw was a lot of banter, a lot of back and forth. Was there any resolve whatsoever? Also, how could they not invite Katie? I think that was really shady of Andy, because Katie was very instrumental and gave us some great one-liners this season. That argument between she and Ashley in the Cayman Islands when she said, "I don't think you're dumb, but I do think you're stupid. Maybe you're both." Katie was not there for it and served it right back to the ladies every which way, every time they threw it at her. And then showed up at that event, honey, looking snatched and put together to show, I can come looking A1 110%. I just choose not to. It's not even worth it. I do think I read somewhere that Katie's engaged now, and is she pregnant again? I could have read wrong. Either way, congratulations, Katie. I think your life is on an upturn, and we really enjoyed seeing you this season. Hopefully, we'll see you back next season. Now, back to this reunion. None of the ladies slayed this season when it came to looks. I did like Candace's more toned down face and hair because she had all this drama going on her shoulder, but I was just not in love with it. I also wanted to know, why were people just kind of coming for Karen? But the Grand Dame was ready. She said, "Robin, I would never question why you love Juan." She was ready, okay? Giselle still really rubs me the wrong way, and I keep struggling to believe that she was once a first lady. And then the fact that she's now dating her ex, Jamal Bryant, and this kind of subliminal caption thing that she and Phaedra had going on briefly, because the rumors were that Jamal Bryant was Mr. Chocolate and that, you know, he and Phaedra dated. Giselle is back with her ex, okay? And if I went, first of all, I'm never going to World Changers, so you don't have to worry about me stepping foot in their church. But if I was a member and then Giselle was my first lady, I probably have to move my membership, because nothing about her, at least from what we see on Bravo, is super godly. I did enjoy the way that they closed out the season, as well as the way that they brought Miss Dorothy on to explain her side. But nothing was really resolved because Miss Dorothy is super in denial about what she does to her daughter, the impact it has. It's very clear that she is not ready to take accountability for her part in the mayhem. Good luck, Chris, because I feel as though with Candace, what you see with her mother is what you're going to experience with Candace. So just watch out for that. One thing that was definitely clear this season is that Ashley is definitely getting back her karma. Okay, she thought she was on her good side and she was not. Ashley has talked so much trash about everybody else's relationships, their marriages, their businesses, what they were doing, and it has completely kind of come back to bite her in the ass. Oz is closed. She just had her baby, but then they had all this allegation blow up, and you kind of see Michael just walk straight out once the guys are dismissed from the stage, which shows that there's no camaraderie there, and I don't believe that they will be returning for another season. That actually might be a good thing. So, bye Ashley and Michael, if that is true. We enjoyed having you. Robin and Juan, I don't think are ever really going to get married, and that is okay. Just stop lying to your boys about it. Let's also not use that forced storyline anymore. Giselle, I don't know how she feels about being put on Front Street with her daughters like that, because I believe that when she initially had them filmed and she wanted to talk about how she was as a mother, I'm sure she did not expect for her daughter to be like, "Well, you just completely ignore me. I don't feel important," etc., etc. So hopefully she takes this time off. Now that Every Hue Beauty has definitely blown up, it is in Target. I believe it's in Walmart. It's in several stores. Now that she's proven that she can be successful and self-made and she's bought her home, maybe now she'll take a little bit of time off the road and will actually make sure that her girls receive the attention that they deserve. Congrats to the Grand Dame for launching the La Dame fragrance. I have not smelled it, so I don't know if it really is an old lady fragrance, but I do look forward to going to my local Bloomingdale's and getting a sample just to see. And Monique, once again, congratulations on your baby. Keep thriving. I see that your Not for Lazy Moms podcast is taking off. I see that you got your parrot or your tropical bird in the house. Just keep doing you, girl. I really have nothing else to say. And last but not least, let's talk Basketball Wives. I was watching last week's episode of Basketball Wives and I said, when is this season going to be over? And then the preview came and it said, the season finale. And I went, finally, thank God someone else is tired of this. A little disappointed that they got renewed for another season, but I get it. It was drama. What I did like was this whole season was still focused on drama from last season. Kristen is still just delusional about her part in what happened between Cece, Byron, and Thomas. Yes, Cece told OG about Thomas not being Byron's biological son. However, there was already a breakdown between Kristen and Cece that had happened prior to this. What part of Byron's gonna ride for his woman? So until you're able to apologize to her, or you ladies are able to squash this out, I will not be coming to this hamburger helper dinner. I don't get it. Kristen is just, Cece's the reason why they don't talk. She's keeping my family apart and blah, 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 blah. But I still don't think that Kristen has even apologized to Byron for making it seem like he was a bad grandfather. Kristen has a lot of soul searching to do, and I actually wish that like Evelyn and all these other ladies would stop hyping her up. OG and Cece definitely kind of carried this season on their back, because if they didn't have anyone to dislike, anybody to keep the drama going, we'd have nothing to watch. What I do want to know is how Evelyn's going to flip-flop between reaching out to Chad to get the DM proof and then say that she doesn't want to sit on the stage with someone that's going to antagonize her about domestic violence and her abuser. So is Chad your abuser, or are you homies? Because you said that you guys were cool and that's why you reached out to him. So which one is it? Because you really can't do both. Evelyn got super upset about OG saying, I'm your favorite athlete's favorite athlete. And for someone who just doesn't care, who's moved on, who's had him, she's invested a lot of energy and a lot of time into going back and forth and combating OG on that. They keep talking about OG being aggressive, but Evelyn is equally aggressive. I kept rewatching the scene where she's doing all this patting and all this cussing, because I was literally trying to figure out what she was saying, but I couldn't because it was so profanity laced. They pretty much had to bleep out the entire sentence. And for somebody who is so elevated and went on Iyanla Vanzant and has fixed her life and made all these changes, I have not seen one single improvement in Miss Evelyn Lozada. I applaud Tammy for actually leaving the season, because it no longer serves her. She's married, she's happy, she's got her businesses going, and why continue to involve yourself in that drama? I do appreciate Tammy leaving OG with a small piece of advice, which is when you're strong like that and you don't follow the crowd, they're going to pick on you. And so that is exactly what OG is seeing. Why is Phoebe on the show again? Moving on. Jackie, Christy, and Malaysia, I really do hate seeing their friendship kind of deteriorate the way that it has, but it's cool. Jackie, I enjoy having her on the show, but I can't quite figure out what her purpose is, with the exception of kind of being able to mingle between the groups in order to keep the drama going. Malaysia is Malaysia. She speaks so slowly. It's like it's like a little rat is in there like turning its wheels. So then she's kind of struggling to formulate her sentences, which I find to be interesting. But she's a very pretty girl, and I love that she's all about family and her children and trying to repair the family, even if she's not biologically related to them, you know, from what I heard. And I've covered that in a past episode. So go back and watch that. And we all know why Shawnee's on the show. Shawnee's on the show for a check. She's the EP. She has to be in there to keep things flowing. She's also trying to show her businesses. We get it, girl. You're doing real estate development. You're trying to do international real estate. You're also trying to do your cannabis business. You got a lot of irons in the fire. Congratulations. But I'm actually kind of over Basketball Wives. I do want to applaud OG for holding her own. What I do want to point out is that they did cut back to footage of her talking about while she was on the field, how she used to tackle to get that aggression out. And that's definitely being used against her when we're talking about the way that they're cutting the footage of OG, or how she's always going to be perceived as the aggressor. And really the only reason why that's going to happen is because she could really beat all of their asses single-handedly. So they don't like it. Evelyn can talk shit, but you better not get up in her face, because you know if you do, it's going to be something. I also just didn't like this teams thing. So if you were watching the episode, they talk about, oh, well, we won that argument, one for us, and we're basking in our win. And I just couldn't imagine being adults and grown women, being in Costa Rica on a vacation, arguing with some bitches that I can argue with back in the States. I don't understand. And then they go on these activities, they have like one good day, but it's almost like you're faking it because you can't wait to get back to your original crew so that you can get together and dish and talk about what was said. Just seems a little high school, especially for women their age and of their status. I also don't like the way that they tried to play Jackie about showing up at the sipping shop and acting a fool. Now, did she act a fool? Yes. But at the same time, let's not act like Malaysia didn't pull up to Angel Brink's event ready to fight as well. So it just feels like there's a double standard amongst the main group and then kind of the outcasts, which would be Cece, Jackie, and OG. I feel like there's a different set of rules, and OG has said this, and it's so true, that there's a different set of rules for these ladies versus what Evelyn and everyone else can do. Because Evelyn is aggressive as well. She's actually not very likable. There's also a petition, I don't know if you've seen it going around, to get her off the show because of kind of what's been going on social media. She's used monkey references as it pertains to OG and just said some very derogatory things, I guess, towards darker skinned women, and they are not having it. Do I really think anything's going to come of it? No. And I say no because Ev is Shawnee's best friend, and so who would Shawnee have to really film with for the majority of the season? And she's always going to look out for her friend. So I don't think anything's going to come of it. But I do think that it's a testament to the awareness that we have now within society as far as what's appropriate, what's inappropriate, what can be said, and what can't be said. We'll see how the season finale wraps up. Hopefully it's juicy and we get answers to all of our questions and we're, able to wrap things up in a nice, neat little package. And that pretty much wraps up this week's recap or discussion around the reality TV shows that we covered. Next up, I'll be covering Married to Medicine, Growing Up Hip Hop New York, and Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. So look out for that. If you want to know what scripted shows I'm watching, I am a big fan of Greenleaf, so I am definitely watching that. And then please don't kill me. I had never seen an episode of Grey's Anatomy up until about 3 days ago, so I am binge watching that. I am actually on season 3 right about now. Are there any books or anything else that I'm reading? I actually went to the bookstore and found a book that caught my attention just based off of the title and the chapter names. So the name of the book is called Eloquent Rage: A Black Feminist Discovers Her Superpower. What caught my attention is, 1, it's written by a Black woman, and 2, we're talking about Black women having superpowers, being superheroes, which we already know we carry the weight of the world on our shoulders, as well as she talks about being a feminist, because I'm a firm believer in Black feminism and white feminism being two completely different things. I'll definitely keep you updated on how I enjoy the book once I finally crack it open, but I literally just picked this up like maybe 2 days ago. Another cute find that I wanted to share with you guys is my 2020 planner. If you're not planning for 2020 by now, you're already behind. I am definitely a person that likes to ball on a budget and find cute little things around my city. And of course, I went to TJ Maxx and found this super cute planner. And it starts in August of 2019. And it has like the full month. There's folders in here, little inspirational quotes. And I really do think it's a good investment if you are a person that lives by a planner. And one last tip, my favorite product is the NYX or NYX pencil in milk, because that helped to make this turquoise eyeliner pop even just that much more. And you already know what to do. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit like. Don't only hit like, make sure to subscribe. And while you're at it, you might as well go ahead and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook so that you're always a part of the conversation. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I really want to hear feedback from you, things that I can improve. If you liked a segment, if you didn't like a segment, what did I miss? What can I elaborate on more? I am here for you. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next recap. Bye. This video has been Quinniee B approved. Thanks for watching. But don't stop there. Let's head on over to Instagram and Twitter and keep the conversation going. I'll meet you there. Bye-bye.